Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. This is your weekly Warhammer 40,000 tournament rundown of the biggest and best tournaments happening all over the world. My name is Paul, your host. I'm joined by Dustin Henshaw,
Hello, everybody.
and we are joined by my esteemed colleague, uh, the Corpse of Sanguinius.
He will rise again, for sure.
Adam Camilleri, who would normally be here, is not with us this evening because he is out there being part of the meta.
Part of the, he's not chasing it. He's a part of it now because
He's
he's
in it.
traveling
He's
it.
in the lane. So welcome everyone that's joining us live. I have an amazing chat group. If you join us after the fact on the podcast aggregators, we love y'all as well. We have three great team events to bring you this week. We got the Leoben 40K teams, the GT Madrid, and then the ATC Florida. So we'll be talking about those, running down the faction breakdowns coming up this week, and then a special thing for the chat group here that may be joining us. I think we're going to let them play the part of Adam Camilleri
Yeah,
later this.
we need it because this week is probably the hardest one. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Uh, can you and I agree on something right now? Is that if they phrase their reply to when we get to that topic uh, in the chat with an Australian accent, that it gets a little bit more weight
Oh yes,
for
absolutely.
us
It's
choosing
worth
that?
at least 2 votes if you do that.
I don't know, two votes, two Adam votes
Two
of
Adam votes,
to
yeah. Two
we'll
Adam
get a lot
votes.
the weight of Adam's opinion. Hopefully shine
Well,
through.
we already
Is,
discovered he doesn't have a sense of humor. He's not funny, so at least we're not doing comedy this time.
oh my goodness! No, don't let him hear you. Don't tell
You
anybody
said
we
it.
said
You
that.
said it. It's on
I
recording.
didn't say it.
Yes, you did. I have proof.
Put
I
that
have
on me.
recorded proof.
well, welcome everybody. Erwin, Steve, good to see y'all in the chat. Let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the Leoben 40K teams Alpine Cup from Leoben, Austria. 370 players in 74 teams of 5.
That
Dustin,
is
what are we going to see there? This is a
massive.
team event here, so know that the codex cannot be represented more than once per team at events like this.
Yeah, so 74 teams, and generally speaking, if any faction is represented at 50% or higher, that is considered one of the best factions in that area, or at least by the teams that are going there. So, in the Imperial Super Faction, there are 6 Sisters of Battle, which is way more than I was expecting, even at 370 players. But wow, that's incredible. 32
It's
Custodes.
big numbers for them for sure.
Big numbers for sure. 32 Custodes. There's your first 50%er, which isn't too much of a surprise. I think most of those can be Lions, maybe some Solar? I can't remember the last
Yes.
name. Anyway, 9 Adeptus Mechanicus, 21 Astra Militarum, 13 Grey Knights, 12 Imperial Knights, Space Marines. There's 19 Adeptus Astartes, 4 Dark Angels, 2 Space Wolves, 12 Blood Angels, and 5 Death Watch, which means technically they are actually reaching that at 42 because they all count towards the same faction there. Chaos, there's 18 Chaos Space Marines, 5 T-Suns, 11 Death Guard, 14 War Leaders, 9 Emperor's Children, 24 Demons, and 23 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 24 Necrons, 17 Orcs, 8 Tau, and 14 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 17 Tyranids, 9 Genestealer Cult. And Eldari, there's 2 Drukhari and 38 Eldari. How much of that do you bet is going to be in there? I bet you at least a half. At least half.
I think it is. I mean, look, there's two right now a couple of strong detachment contenders there for the Eldari. Yannari is probably what people consider to be the most powerful, obviously because of that extra move that they get when you kill one of their units. So it's like it's real difficult to mitigate. And then there's that hot tech, with the Vizark and your Vrain and their squad of choice, basically creating a bunch of problems with that fight first and various abilities that they can do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What do you make of the Emperor's Children there, basically crawling onto the scene? So this is a brand new codex with a lot of brand new models, which I think may be contributing to that number.
Yeah.
But that's still 9 lists. Do you think that's high, low? What do you think?
I think it's high for the point that most people that are switching over to them probably don't have 18 Noise Marines already. So they or 3.
But if you were a player
if you
before,
were,
you had more than that.
you did. That's fair. You probably had what 30, but in this case, 9 Emperor's Children. I think that's about the number I'd expect. You want a couple Demon Princes, depending on what detachment you're doing. Maybe you want some Demonettes, but I think most of it will be hobby led because Emperor's Children is definitely looking really strong right now, and we've seen it have some strong showings already with a couple different ways to play it. They in teams they are a threat. They are a bully. They can really push into
Well,
some list.
fast, real killy.
Yeah.
And I think was it were you a detractor from the flawless blades? Like the power, because a lot of people have a lot of attention on that right now. Can't remember what your opinion on that was.
Which one?
The flawless blades, just basically that unit is
Oh,
that's one of the units that people would definitely have to ramp up hobby wise.
yeah, for sure. I actually haven't even seen them on the board yet. Are they even that easy to get right now? Is the question, right? They
Oh, fair enough.
that's
Yeah.
you don't have to have them. Let's be real. Like they aren't. I think noise marines are pretty. Like if you're bringing the Emperor's Children, you're bringing noise marines. The flawless blades you want. Do you need them? One squad, maybe two. Yeah.
Dorian in the chat says EC or Emperor Children are super powerful. Then
Yep.
KR says, I hate it when my faction is this popular.
Yeah.
Saying the 32
I
Custodes.
feel that. I get that.
You do feel some obligation to tell your opponents, like, I've been playing them for a long time.
You have to. I swear to God, man, I have been playing these longer than everybody else. These are like the Slanesh, like Demon Princes in Emperor Children are, I'd say, probably the best Demon Princes right now you can get. That just
It's a good call. Yeah.
pretty good alone. But yeah, they're really good. It's very very strong codex, hard to deal with. So I think it's a great choice for teams if you can bring it.
Breaking down that Eldari group there, it is 20 Yanari, 14 aspect hosts, 2 war hosts, and 1 spirit conclave.
Yeah.
So look at those champions with the war host in the spirit conclave. Although I really do think the war host is, when you play it like the aspect host,
I would agree with that for sure.
it's pretty strong. And maybe they're just leaning into that tech, but look at that. The two standout detachments being Yanari and then the aspect host, which is what they're fun to play, by the way. No taking away against
I
that.
think the real hero here is the Spirit Conflict player. Let's be real. Like that's awesome to see that. I love that. And I think it actually, like, it's one of those wow factors and the what the heck just happened factors when you play the game, because a lot of people don't know what that list can actually do, and it can surprise you.
Well, in a team event too. I mean, this is a team event, and so when you are trying to create, like I have a theory that there are, and we talked about this last week, is that there are a lot of counters out there to the Eldari, and so you kind of have to protect them in some capacity. But we're talking, or at least I was talking specifically about the aspect host and the Yanari.
Yep.
Maybe when you start shifting some of those profiles around,
that's actually a really good point.
Yeah. Less protections needed. So maybe we see in a couple of weeks this kind of thing start to get flipped.
That's good. That's one of the things that you have access to when you have these different attachments, right? Because if people are playing against a lot of Yanari, they're getting ready for Yanari, they're getting ready for Aspect Host, and then you bring Eldar, but not the flavor they're expecting. Like, okay,
got a bunch of vehicles and Wraith Lords or whatever.
I'm good against this because I built for Eldar, but maybe if you could skew that differently, that could be a benefit for the Eldar players for sure. And
especially all these folks trying to use spreadsheets to pick, and they plug in, like it's green.
It's Eldar green, no problem.
We're talking about some folks that are trying to, put some algorithmic or formulas behind the pairing process, and having some backup math there at the table. But this presents, with all the detachments available to you, some different math. So watch out for that, and good luck to everybody playing here. This is the point in the show where we predict who's going to win this thing. And since it's a team event, we don't predict the team we think is going to win. We predict the faction that we think is going to score the highest battle points over the course of the weekend. And of course, since Adam is not here, he does pick Dark Angels.
Dark Angels specifically. All right. I will type that in. Nope, because I don't have access. Request access from the guy that's on the road. I'll type it in elsewhere. We got it. It's fine.
All the math and the homework that has to be done. I'm looking for a die. Normally there's dice all over the place here.
I cleaned up recently. Oh, I still got one. Nice.
There's bound to be one. Yep. So what do you want? Odd or even?
I'll take even.
Okay.
It's 1, so it's odd.
Odd.
I picked the wrong die.
My goodness. I gotta put. I'm going with Custodes. Got to play the numbers here.
Custodes. Yep, that's a good pick. That is a good pick. I I think I'm actually gonna be ballsy, and I'm gonna take Emperor's Children.
All right, all right.
It's not they don't have numbers, but I think they have. I think they have the power. That
Erwin brings up a good point. Is that Grey Knight? Adam is playing Grey Knights all weekend. He's playing basically their equivalent of an ATC style event. Uh, but we have rules around here, and unfortunately, those rules say.
it's true. We do have rules, and we did discuss this beforehand too.
But thank you for letting us know that, of course. Next event we're going to be talking about is the GT Madrid from Madrid, Spain. This is 228 players in 38 teams of six-player teams.
Oh, they like 6-player teams
Typically,
there actually.
so let's talk about this for just 1 second. So typically we've seen fives or eights, and fives in teams of five, you can get a lot of, I guess, deep into the tournament, put up wins by taking a lot of like what's good in singles lists.
Mm-hmm.
When you start taking go to 8-player tournaments, you start to filter more towards actual faction roles and player
Yep.
roles. Not that you don't do that in a five. Nobody think that I said you don't do that in a five, but what you do actually see a lot of singles list doing strong, doing
Yep.
really well in a 5-player team event. 8-player, it gets a little bit more complicated. What do you think happens in a 6-player?
It just gives that extra defender now, right? Because it's not just drop 2 and then you have your champions. Now you have to actually think about another matchup, another pairing with the champions, and that the champion is actually a really big factor in team events. Like when I'm talking about champion, I'm talking about the 2 players that are not put into pairings, that they're left to the end, so they're not actually put into defender and they're not put into attacking. So it's basically they're just left over, and it's near impossible to predict who those champions are on either
Mm-hmm.
side. So you can't like plan those matchups. So you really they're best left for either people that are defenders, like are blunters, so they'll fight anything and still get points. But more so, they're where the singles list tend to go because they're the ones that are used to fighting anything and getting points. So when you have that extra matchup that you need, is that one more singles list you need to prepare for? Is it another attack you want to prepare for so you can actually get extra points? It it throws the numbers off. That's why it's cool to go to different. Like I went to a 4-man team recently too, and that was crazy. that was just one defender and then champs. That's it. That's it. that was crazy. So
So it wasn't like 2 players playing on the same table. It was still
yeah,
everybody.
it was still
Okay,
like WTC style pairing. So it's cool that way. So
nice.
every single player you add to a team adds another level of complexity. Sorry,
Complexity or
complexity.
whatever.
I got
Like
the
I
word.
like the first word.
I got the complicity. Sure, adds that extra complexity to the list design and the faction design that you're going to pick for your team. And plus you have to get one more faction that's worth taking, right? So it's cool.
Oh,
I like it.
fair enough. Fair enough. What are we going to see at this event?
We will be seeing here in the Imperial Super Faction there are 4 Sisters of Battle, 25 Custodes, and again that's in 38 teams, so that's well past the halfway mark there. Custodes really making representation this weekend. 1 Adeptus Mechanicus, 10 Astra Militarum, 14 Grey Knights, and 15 Imperial Knights. Then Space Marines are 7 Adeptus Astartes, 5 Dark Angels, 10 Blood Angels, and 1 Black Templar, which means they're actually lower in total than a number of Custodes at this event right now. That's a first. I think that never happened before.
Yeah.
That's
No,
crazy.
not yeah. No, I don't. I
Not
think you're
ever.
right. Even in the heyday of
Yeah,
Custodes before.
yeah, like never. In Chaos, there's 8 Chaos Space Marines, 6 T-Suns, 11 Death Guard, 4 War Leaders, 6 Emperor's Children, 13 Demons, and 7 Chaos Knights. Xenos are 17 Necrons, 12 Orcs, 6 Tau, and 2 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 12 Tyranids and 6 Genius to the Cult. And then Eldaria, there are 5 Drukhari and 20 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Custodes at the top with 25, then technically total Astartes at 23, then Eldari at 20, then Necrons at 17, and then Imperial Knights at 15. What do you think of that spread?
That's actually that's a lot of Imperial Knights.
That's a lot of Imperial Knights, right? In fact,
And a nice
it's
spread
more
there
than double the amount of Chaos Knights. I haven't
because
seen that
Canis is
happen.
just too good. Yeah, Canis is too good.
Canis is very good. Yeah. But I mean,
I shouldn't say too good, like he's oppressive, but I mean like there's the
he's an auto
draw
include. Let's be real. He's an auto include.
yeah, is really strong, and I think helps pair into some other matchups. But I do think that like 13-14 War Dog configuration is strong.
I
So
really like. I always rated Chaos Knights higher than Imperial Knights, but I guess in teams maybe is there a matchup that they're hunting? Are Imperial Knights good into like Emperor's Children or into Custodes?
I mean, Freedom's hand does a lot of talking. It's
That's fair. That's fair.
who cares if you got 7, 8 wounds when it comes in there. Oh, but yeah, I do think that maybe Canis is the draw there, but we'll see. That detachment breakdown for the Custodes is 20 lines of the Emperor and 5 Solar Spearhead.
Solar Spearhead. That's the word I was looking for. We got so 20 lines of the Emperor. Yeah, that's the people are digging that detachment. They're digging it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, Emperor Children have a problem with the Chaos. I'm sorry, Imperial Knights.
Well, there
It
we
seems
go.
reasonable. A lot of big stuff. Probably hard to
Yep,
whittle them down,
makes
even
sense.
with
That
high volumes of shots.
makes sense to me. Then yeah, that's maybe they're hunting that. They're hunting those new Emperor's Children. I feel like Eldar, depending on the build, can sometimes struggle with the Knights too. But that's the same with Chaos Knights too. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, you're counting on like 3 fire pikes to get the job done or whatever.
Hey,
It's
yeah, I said last week too. I've had Fire Dragons completely deal 0 damage to a rock grinder, and it is not as durable as a Knight. So
like to give me. All right, I've been working on Eldari for a long time, like rebasing and stuff. I think they're an amazing singles list, but in a team event, you got to do a lot of dodging.
yeah,
And I'm
ducking
curious to
and
see
weaving.
how these next few weeks of events of the team event of the team bar, which thankfully they're all out there to see, or how it's going to pan out for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And then what Eldari generals faction specialists start to gravitate towards for that format.
Yes, I want to see
We
something
shall see.
other than Ynnari come out on top.
Look, you in the hands of a right player, they can score a lot of objectives, and they got a lot of tricks. We're like, granted, we're just talking about like power on power in a unit matchup, on paper matchup, not player in the pilot skill. So see how this plays out.
Yep, absolutely.
Any other standout factions for you that you saw there?
No, Necrons is pretty straightforward. I think Tyranids actually still, and GSE even putting up some higher numbers than I normally see them in, which I'm happy to see. Like Tyranids, I think we've talked about this many times on the show before. That we feel that Tyranids are really good in teams. So the fact that they haven't been as represented lately is kind of surprising. But this week, so far, so good on that. So I like seeing that. Demons are pretty high in this event too. But that doesn't surprise me. The Shadow Legion attachment is
Shadow
pretty
Legion.
fire. It's pretty
Yeah.
fire. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's a
Actually,
real good list.
you know what we should talk about? 10 Blood Angels. The top Space Marine representation of this event.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Of course, you're not surprised. But there's also 5 Dark Angels. Like, that's quite a few Dark Angels. Like, we're not seeing as many vanilla anymore. Why is that?
Yeah, maybe so. Gravitating towards those nice stratagems and detachments. So, yeah, good on them. All right, now time to predict a winner. You go first this time.
Me go first. Team event. Where is this? Spain? What's Spain known for here? Do they have any like factions that they're really known for? They're doing well with. You know what?
Grey Knights?
Is it Grey Knights? Well, I do have quite a few Grey Knights there. That would make sense. I'm tempted to just go all in the craziness here. I'm gonna go Imperial Knights. They know something I don't.
All right.
I want to see it.
Look, if anybody can do it, they can. And of course, Adam with Dark Angels. And please know that we're doing that purely out of love. Adam put this show together and all these stats and stuff for us on his way out the door to go and play in the tournament. So we wish him luck. And if he listens to this back, he will know that this is his Dark Angel picks are purely from the heart.
Absolutely.
What am I going with? Let's see. I'm going to go with Necrons.
Necrons, it's a solid choice.
Yeah, I think Necrons in a team event, especially when I have to willing to bet there's a lot of Awakened Dynasty in there, so they're going to go the distance and get a bunch of points.
Yeah, absolutely, it makes sense to me. They've always been a strong faction, even in singles, but in teams when you can really skew it. And I don't even think you need to skew it. You could take some of those big blobs, the warrior blobs now, which are starting to come back. You could do wraith blobs mixed in with it too. You could just do the character spam and awaken. You could have a combination of all three. Like they have some cool builds. There's still hypercrypt. Like it's not hypercrypt isn't dead. I've seen some good hypercrypt success.
Interesting.
So, it's definitely not dead. You know what I haven't seen as much though? Shatterstar. which is funny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I guess it has kind of been on
The decline, yeah.
the back burner, but it's still a very aggressive
It's still very,
attachment.
especially in teams. I think it's less of a singles list for Necrons, but in teams when you can get the right matchup for it, it can do a lot of damage, and it can get the big differential when you want it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I think that players opting for that more reliability and durability. Of
Yeah.
course, if you have a bunch of models left on the table,
Oh, for sure.
you have a higher likelihood of scoring some points.
Especially if you're like one of the champions or like a singles list in your team comp, because then you fight anything and like I just need to be able to survive it just that little bit or stand back up after you shoot me so I can still score my points. Don't need to
Yeah,
kill you
fair
as long
enough.
as I'm outscoring you.
Next event we're going to be talking about is the ATC Florida 40K from Clearwater right outside of Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
Florida, of course. 120 players,
Thank you for that.
24 teams of 5.
So we are going to be seeing there in the Imperial Superfaction there are 11 Custodes, so not quite the halfway mark, but still pretty heavy representation. 4 Adeptus Mechanicus, 7 Astra Militarum, 5 Grey Knights, and 8 Imperial Knights. 8 Imperial Knights just out everywhere. Did they get a big change or something? What happened? They're out in force.
I'm trying to think because we've seen, looking at list, or I'm trying to think back. Is like, was there something that it got unlocked? Like, our paladins being taken more often for their bondsman ability, and that's what
I don't.
holding up
I
the
just see the Atropos and Canis and like as terms of the big ones.
yeah.
Sometimes the Crusader, but it's rare. But it's mostly the Atropos and Canis. Is it Emperor's Children? Are they just coming in here because they want to bully Emperor's Children? Is that it? Because that's the only new thing that I can think of. And
I guess we'll
chat seems to
see.
agree that
Okay.
they have trouble in it, so maybe that's what it is. Anyway, Space Marines, there's 8 Adeptus Astartes, 1 Dark Angel, and 4 Blood Angels, so they're only at 13, but that is over half, so that makes sense too. Chaos is 1 single Chaos Space Marine, 1 single T-Sun, 8 Death Guard, 8 World Eaters, 8 Demons, and 6 Chaos Knights. Xenos are 7 Necrons, 4 Orcs, 6 Tau, and 2 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 6 Tyranids and no Gene Stealer Cult. Sad days. Eldari, there's 1 Drukhari and 8 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is technically total Astartes, topping it off with 13, just over half. And then Custodes, just below half with 11. Then Imperial Knights, regular, like just Astartes, vanilla Astartes, Eldari, Death Guard, World Eaters, and Demons, all at 8. And then Astra Militarum, Necrons at 7, Chaos Knights, Tau, and Tyranids at 6. That's a pretty good spread, actually.
That's the spread.
Custodes topping out almost every single event. Did they top the first one too? Not
They
quite.
Did.
They were Eldari.
Oh, it was Yanari. Sorry, Eldari for the top
like
one.
there. Yeah. Wow. So apparently, Custodes and Imperial Knights are good against Emperor's Children, according to the meta right now.
I can believe that.
I can believe that for sure. That's crazy
Uh,
though.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this breakdown, and then also seeing everything, as you're calling that stuff out, if you squint a little bit, you could take an eight person team of almost like all bad guys,
Why wouldn't
like
you
all
do that?
chaos stuff. When all the codexes get released.
Hey, you're only the bad guys to everybody else.
Give me some
Evil is all a matter of perspective, Paul.
some team evils coming out pretty soon. Breaking down the Astartes here, it is 7 Gladius Task Force, 2 Angelic Inheritors, 2 Liberator Assault Groups, 1 Stormlance Task Force, and 1 Black Spear Task Force. I'm actually torn on the Angelic Inheritors versus the Liberator Assault Group, just as a Blood Angel player. I mean, because there's a Blood Angel detachments. I shouldn't say just as a Blood Angel player,
yeah.
but because with the Angelic Inheritors, you kind of get a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can still spread it around. But the Liberator Assault Group's got so many, like, just good reliability stuff.
Just reliable stuff. Like sometimes you want that reliable, right? Well, they're evenly split, so obviously other people are torn too. I think
Yeah.
they just try one, don't like it, try the other one, or they don't like either of them, they go to the Gladius.
I think if you feel like you want to pull more stuff in reserves, you go with the Inheritors. If you feel like you're going to do all your work on the table.
Ooh, that's an interesting way to think of it. If you feel like you can do all your work on the table already, so you need to be able to pull stuff off the table. Do they still have an advanced charge in that?
In And in Liberator, yeah,
In Liber, but not in Angelic, right? Not in Inheritors.
I don't think. I have to. I'll bring up
I don't
the
think
enhancements,
so.
but I think it's just the other one.
Yeah. See, I feel like being on the table with an advanced charge when you jump pack is more reliable in general.
Well, players are split. We'll see what
Mm.
reigns supreme on the other end of this.
Who knows?
But
Who
it
knows?
is nice to see the Blood Angels do in strong out there. And then, of course, looking at this being a 5-player team event, what do you think the secret sauce is in here to try to break what we're talking about, that the whole that singles list maybe being in top contention?
For the Space Marines in general, or just being
Well, no,
anything?
just in general, what the teams or the factions may have been taking, what you see on the podium here.
Well, honestly, I think a lot of the Custodes lists are starting to feel more single style because they're consistent with the Lions and even the Solar Spearhead. They're pretty consistent in terms of their scoring, and they can still bully some lists too. And they're also one of those lists that if you need to just sit back and score, you can, because coming after a Custodes army is not something that everybody can do. Eldari is obviously always one of those armies that can always play in singles. They have so many options for the detachment. They can just score. They are one of, if not the best secondary scoring armies in the game. So, because of their speed, because of their tricks, like their movement out of phase in some detachments, they have so many tricks to do that they can just score. They used to suffer with primary, but Ynnari has a way around that. So right now, Ynnari's really good at doing both, which is why you'd see a lot more of the Ynnari showing up out of these ones. Other than the other numbers, actually 8 World Eaters here. That's a lot of World
Yeah,
Eaters. Are they just excited because some of the leaks have started to
some
come
people
out?
will say it's the right amount of World Eaters.
That is exactly the right amount of World Eaters. In fact, every World
Uh,
Eater player would say that's the right amount.
I think the Death Guard are actually the kind of the spine breaker list here, is that you can get them out to be the answer to a lot of other things.
Yep.
And if they've chosen correctly, then that might be the spoiler list that
Yeah,
some
for
folks are
sure.
working into their 5-pack here. But let's predict those winners.
Do it. You get to go first this time.
Oh, nice. You know, I'm gonna go with Imperial Knights as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Look. Obviously, there's something happening out
Exactly.
there,
See?
and I want to be a part of it.
You want to be a
So,
part of it too. You know what? I can respect that. I can absolutely respect that. Man, I don't want to take Custodes again. I want to do something different. But I feel pretty good
yeah,
about Custodes.
yeah. Where's the spice?
Where's the spice?
Look, but if Custodes are out there and everyone knows they're out there, that means people are going to take things that can deal with the Custodes.
That's true. It's also
Or they're going to have a
Astronaut
plan.
22.
They have a plan because that's what everybody's talking about.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to roll for it. 4 up, it is Eldari, and 1 to 3, it's Astra Militarum. It's Eldari.
That's a good choice. Man, Astra Militarum also a great choice, and I can't believe we haven't talked about it a little bit more.
The Hammer of the Emperor combined arms lists. The combined arms actually got a lot of representation lately now, like just because it has more killing power, and Hammer of the Emperor still doesn't care as much about the table because they go through walls. When tanks go through walls, it's like, I don't care about table. I go through the wall. I still shoot you. It's really cool.
Opens up the options of what you can take. Like there's already a lot of folks out there that are lamenting some of the base sizes of some of the things that they are considering using, which is fine. Like the physics of the game is a very real consideration.
Yes, for sure.
And it's not that you can't play them or take them or whatever. It's how often you're going to get you think the value is out of them.
Yes, exactly.
And so that strategy you're talking about, I was going to say opens up the doors, but it breaks down the walls of what you can take.
Yeah, shouldn't like the terrain be knocked down after they go through a wall? I feel like the same with like knights and stuff. When they go through a wall,
That's right.
terrain feature should be removed, right?
Bringing back the anti-terrain weaponry.
Attack fortifications, attack buildings.
It wasn't that long ago that one could move a terrain piece with a psyche power.
That's right. And if there was guys on it, you would actually take the guys with you.
Yeah.
That was dumb. That was so dumb.
I'm not saying no comment over what it's just like that. What did exist in the game,
there was
you played with it and played around it.
For
and
those of you
back
that
in the
weren't
day,
around for the psychic era, there were some psychic powers that were wild, like absolutely wild.
Some folks are bringing up they also had experiences with that in the chat. I'll just say it that
It's true.
way. Joel, good to see you. Just jumping in. Nurgle Matt, good to see you. If I didn't say what's up earlier, okay, chat. Hope y'all are ready because y'all get
Gotta
to
be.
play the part of Adam Camilleri in this segment that we call. Oh, by the way, let me pitch us for a while.
Of course.
We're going to sponsor ourselves for a moment. Please, if you made it this far, consider liking and subscribing, hitting the buttons down below, the bell, so you know when we're going live. I know when we plan stuff, but also consider supporting us on Patreon. Patreon is the lifeblood of the show. That is just one way to do it. Tier 2 and above gets access to a second show that we do, which is a recap of what we talk about on this show, where we talk about the actual winners of the events and go down some of the power lists or novel lists that we saw there, and also give each other a healthy amount of razzing for how well or unwell we did with our
So
predictions.
well.
It's a fun time. But that's tier 2 and above on Patreon. Consider checking us out over there. Um, I'll wait a second while you do that, and then tell you about the hassle-free ways. Just leave some comments down below. But so this segment that we're about to jump into has very little to do with Warhammer 40,000 most evenings. And this is like a little palate cleanser after we talk about the crunchy stats, the hard numbers of the events, the battles happening all over the galaxy for supremacy in the Warhammer 40,000 world. We talk about something very silly in a segment we call the Fuego Rapido, where we give ourselves a topic or a series of topics and then a clock. And once that clock starts, we give the hottest takes on whatever that topic is. Uh, and when the clock stops, we abandon it, never to return to it again, unless, of course, the patrons demand it. And this series of segments we've been doing in the last several weeks did spawn from a suggestion from a patron,
It
which
did.
we are grateful for. So in today's theme is movie playoffs in the sci-fi genre. Didn't we already do this?
Sci-fi? We didn't do sci-fi. We did fantasy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got space fantasies.
Space fantasies. I guess some of them are the same. And remember that not all these genres are going to be exactly right, but we try to get all the important ones that our listeners were suggesting, the patrons, and obviously what we were thinking of. And we had to fit them in somewhere. So sometimes it might be not be the genre, but if they don't win the genre anyway, most of the time they don't stand a chance anyway. Although,
So normally
no,
normally
go
there
ahead.
are three of us here, and so we can break ties. So now the chat will be able to help us break ties.
We need you,
And
chat.
if you phrase your response in an Australian accent, respectfully,
Respectfully. Yes, respectfully.
yeah, um, we will count that as part of the calculus for the tie breaks.
hmm And we need it. We need the help for this one because this one is going to be hard. It is going to be hard.
Definitely will.
So we
All
did
right, get
fantasy last
ready.
week.
Get ready to be
Get ready.
fired up.
People are going to get fired up about
To
this.
be
And
incensed.
we're going to have some controversy here, I'm sure.
So what we've done, these choices have been sorted into a bracket. These brackets are whittled themselves down. So when we have two choices to pick from, it may be a hard choice based on what it's paired up against, and then it may have a harder or easier time
Afterwards.
in the like we've already seen some of our favorite movies
Knocked out like round one.
unfortunately not make
Sometimes
it.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, chat. Help us out. Here we go. In round one, number one, we have Aliens versus Ghost in the Shell.
Oh man, this is Aliens, and I
This
love
this
Ghost
is
in the
Aliens.
Shell. I mean,
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell was such a like when it came out, everyone was like, "Have you seen this?" And
Mhm.
it still holds up. Like it still is a good animated movie.
Yes,
I assume we're
absolutely.
talking about the animated version.
I would assume I haven't even watched the non-animated one. Not gonna lie.
Okay. Well,
Like this.
and even like the series that came out after, it's a great property, but unfortunately, it is not beating Aliens.
No. Aliens. This one's easy. This is one of the few, but this one's unless chat goes wild for Ghost in the Shell right now. But so far it's all Aliens. So yeah, this is a 3-0. This is a 3-0. There's no getting around that. Sorry, Ghost in the Shell. Like you're great, but you're going up
Yeah,
against a
absolutely
monster.
great. This is a lot of movies that would not have won,
Yeah.
or Ghost in the Shell would have beaten.
Yeah, but not Aliens. You are against the monster, both
Yeah.
literally and figuratively. All right, next up, Blade Runner versus Jurassic Park.
Oh no.
We're starting to get into some more gritty stuff.
Oh no. So I am a huge Blade Runner fan.
So am I. So am I. Chat, if Jurassic Park is going to have a chance, you guys got to jump in here. Oh, it's all Blade Runner. Everybody's saying Blade Runner 2. Jurassic Park is getting wrecked.
I mean, come on. Like, there's a couple of scenes in Jurassic Park that could carry it all the way. But,
yeah.
I mean, Rutger Hauer's Tears in the Rain speech completely ad-libbed or whatever. Is he, is Decker or is or not a replicant? Yeah.
Yeah, I think where there's not enough Jurassic Park in the chat. This is the 3-0.
Yeah. I agree that we need more Jurassic Park support.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole objects in mirror closer than they appear, like that scene with the T-Rex. And have you ever watched the behind the scenes where they talk about like how the test footage of the T-Rex was like completely experimental at the time or whatever? Like it just.
Oh yeah. It's actually Joel actually said it right. It's a spectacle. It's a great spectacle. Really is.
Yeah.
Really well made movie. And again, it went up against another monster. Oh, that's gonna be a rough round. Okay. Next up. 12 Monkeys versus The Matrix.
Oh. Is another. So 12 Monkeys. This 12 Monkeys might be the movie where I finally had to admit I'm a fan of Brad Pitt.
Wow. That was pretty early on then. Like for me, it was like Ocean's 11, I think.
Ocean 11 came out after this, right?
Snatch. That was before.
It was also after this, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like where he was in like what Legends of the Fall and Interview with a Vampire.
This one's getting both votes on the chat. This is rough.
I mean, it's the Matrix is winning, in my opinion. But 12 Monkeys is an awesome movie and a bit of a sleeper. I think if 12 Monkeys was more popular, like more people would know, but should know about it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not getting it doesn't have as much credit as it deserves. Because it's great, but
yeah,
for me, it's The Matrix. Matrix was just the first time I watched it, I didn't even know what happened. But I loved it.
KR says, "Look, there isn't 13 Monkeys." Just saying.
That's a good point.
No, so I saw The Matrix in the theater when it came out, and I saw it with someone who had seen it before. He's like, you gotta go see this movie. I was like, all right, fine. And when Keanu wakes up in the Vaseline or whatever, I looked at him like, did they explain that? I hope they explained that.
Yeah. Like, what just happened? That was.
But I like the first 3 Matrix movies. The 4th Matrix movie.
Yeah. I also remember too, because I saw first Matrix with my dad, and immediately after watching it, he's like, let's go buy the soundtrack. I want the soundtrack for this movie because all the music in that was great.
There's no spoilers for anybody or whatever. Yeah, of course the soundtrack is great. There's like, especially that first one. It's like you could just play that on repeat almost. And then the movie, shatters all types of like archetypes before. Like the mentor lives through multiple movies. Like that never happens in this genre.
Yep.
Anyway, Matrix.
Yeah, I think it's close, but I think it's still a 3-0 because there was a couple 12 Monkey votes though. There were, but not enough, not more than Matrix.
Yep.
Okay. So a lot of 3-0s right now, so we'll see what happens. The Day the Earth Stood Still versus Galaxy Quest. We had to put this one in here because we missed it on comedy, but it is definitely Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest all the way.
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest is probably the best Star Trek movie. Also.
Well, we're gonna see because there is a Star Trek movie in here.
Yeah. I mean, that scene though, with like, why would they put the choppers in? And over the course of my existence, I've used the line of like, my job is to repeat the computer, and damn it, I'm going to do it.
There's some great lines in that movie. It's so good. Yeah, it looks like the majority's in Galaxy Quest in chat too. All right, that's another 3-0. Like some of these are hard, but they're 3-0s. The score is not indicative. We'll see if anyone start getting votes. We've agreed on all this so far too, which is equally surprising.
Oh, Matrix was also filmed in Australia. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I don't like this one. I hate random seating, Paul. Terminator 2 versus Fifth Element. One of
Terminator.
these is not going to make it past round 1, and that is a crime.
It is. Terminator 2 is a good movie.
Yep.
It's got a good soundtrack, but the sheer epicness and almost like audacity of the Fifth Element,
Yeah.
I think has to make it win for me. Like the Fifth Element to me has almost like just one singular weakness.
It's not.
That's like the battle, the battle at the end where where love is the fifth element. And I get it. I would have liked a little bit more from that scene, but then that's not where the movie ends. The movie then carries forward, keeps going, and you get what is probably the actual payoff of the movie, kind of thing.
Yep, that makes sense. I am so torn on this. I am going to say Terminator 2 just because chat is for Fifth Element, like almost all for Fifth Element, and I refuse.
You just can't. You don't feel good. Terminator 2 not getting a vote.
Terminator 2 has to get a vote.
Yeah,
has to. So,
and that note that I forget the name of the singer in the Fifth Element that was supposed to be like,
right,
not humanly possible to hit. I think it's been hit in the last several years.
Several times, I think. It's pretty cool. It started a challenge almost for singers. But okay, 2-1 for Fifth Element. Oh man. Terminator 2 didn't make it past round. That's it. That's insane.
That is. Like this is a rough round.
All right, next one. Akira versus Back to the Future.
I think it's Akira. I do think it's Akira. I'll tell you why too, because
Back to the Future is I'm leaning good. Back to the Future right now.
Yeah, Back to the Future is very, very good, but the plot is pretty standard.
Is it standard because it made it standard though?
I don't know. Like going back in time, I feel like there's a lot of the almost like some of the jokes and the gags kind of write themselves. They're executed by great actors, with a great movie built around it. But I don't think the jokes and the premise of the first movie really knocks it out of the park in the same way Akira does.
Okay. Chat seems to be leaning mostly to Akira as well. So I think this is a 2-1 Akira.
I want Kaneda's bike. I don't want Michael J. Fox's truck.
Wow. I mean, whatever convinces you to go that way, right? All right. That looks like a 2-1 for Akira, which I'm not sad about because Akira definitely
I do want the hoverboard still, like can we get the hoverboards?
Yeah. No, okay. No, I'm like Akira, absolutely fantastic.
But even that was in Back to the Future 2.
That's true too. You know, it took me actually like 10 years to watch Back to the Future 2 after I watched the first one. I didn't get a lot of jokes that were being made about Back to the Future for a long time. Like, what is everybody talking about? Oh, there's a second one.
It's the third one they filmed at the same time.
Yeah, I heard that afterwards too. Then I watched the third one immediately after. So I'm like, okay. Because, at the end of the second one, I knew there was absolutely a third one. They made that very clear, but not quite at the end of the first one. Like they kind of hint towards it, but they always do that in movies. It's not like
right
now
there.
when they have after credit scenes.
The DeLorean somehow completely was not in the equation of what vehicles
you wanted. Like you don't want the truck, you want the hoverboard. Didn't even think of the DeLorean, the actual Back to the Future vehicle. Okay,
I'm not changing my answer.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, next one. Planet of the Apes versus Star Trek in brackets Wrath of Khan, because that's what we agreed was the best Star Trek movie in our opinion. So keep that in mind.
So I think this is tougher for me than it looks, because the Planet of the Apes is certainly been like there's a it's iconic.
It is.
Um,
Which Planet of the Apes are you thinking of when you
I'm thinking about the first one, like with
Charlton
what
Heston? No,
is it, Charlton Heston?
is it Charlton
Yeah,
Heston? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, that makes sense.
yeah. Where you at the very end, or whatever, just gets Statue of Liberty buried in the sand and realizes, like there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot there. It's a
Yep,
whole lot.
for sure.
Um,
It's powerful when you first see it.
but like I think if Ricardo Montalban had not nailed Khan in this movie, we might not even have any more Star Trek movies. I don't.
Yeah, that's also a fair point too. For me, it's Star Trek, not by a lot, but it's significant.
So everybody knows a couple scenes.
Mhm.
So everyone knows, get your hands off me, and God, everyone knows this. So this
Yeah,
equal. Everyone knows
just
the scene
blew
with the
it
Statue of
up.
Liberty, and everyone knows Spock, saving Kirk, or
Mhm.
saving the ship to, and I'll always be your friend. That could happen in Khan, didn't it? That's Wrath of Khan. Spock dies in Wrath of Khan. No
Yep.
spoilers. Uh,
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
so everyone knows those things. But what do you feel more towards?
What do you feel more towards?
Yeah.
Mm, okay, well, if you want feeling into it, I enjoyed watching Star Trek more. I felt more Planet of the Apes.
All right.
So glean that what you will.
I think I'm going Star Trek.
Star
I've talked
Trek,
myself into, yeah.
you talk yourself. So I think Star Trek is the favorite in chat too. Yeah. Yep. Okay. At the 3-0. Again, feel good about it, but to answer your question, KR, next one is 2001: Space Odyssey versus Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back. I'm sorry, Space Odyssey, you're done. Like
Yeah.
you're done. There's no
Empire.
shot.
Empire Strikes Back.
There's no shot.
Yeah.
Chat, is Space Odyssey getting a vote? Nope. Oh, yeah. Nobody else is happy about this either. Space Odyssey didn't deserve this, but there's no chance. There's no chance.
It's a great movie. It's a
Yep.
great story.
Yep. It is a great movie. But ooh, yeah. 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 That's a 3-0 for Star Wars. Man. Only 2 movies got 1 vote and didn't get 2 voted. So that means it's gonna be easy, right? All right, round
Oh,
2. We're started off with Aliens versus Blade Runner.
oh man, this is tough. I love Blade Runner so much.
Yeah, me too. For me, it has to be Aliens, though. It has to be. Like, I love Blade
I
Runner.
mean, we all like quote, "That's inside the room."
Yeah.
You, you
Ah,
know,
it can't be. That's
game
inside.
over, man. Game over.
Oh, chat's going Blade Runner so far. Wow. Okay, we've got some Aliens votes coming in.
Oh, chat, hold it down for Blade Runner. 'Cause
You-
I want to be convinced.
Paul
Because
wants to
again, I
say
love
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Blade Runner has the style of movie that I like, and even the Blade Runner 2049, where it is a slow burn, developing over time story. It takes a long time to get there, and I
It's
enjoy
extremely well
every
written.
step of the journey.
Yeah, it is extremely well written.
Aliens is a great ride that goes from the jump,
Mhm.
of Ripley waking up and then them going there, and and then all the basically the Space Marines.
Aliens and Blade Runner are dead even in the chat right now. Come on, guys. I know there's more of you in chat. Pipe in here. We need help. Paul
But
needs help.
I'm also every single one of even the background characters in Aliens are almost icons in their own way.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean, they've gone on to spawn their own stories. Like what is it? Wayland? What's the? I can't remember the android's name. Um, in
Andrew Bishop?
Bishop, yeah, Bishop is is Wayland, right? From Wayland Utani?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean it's aliens. I hate to say it. This one hurts.
Ooh. I'm definitely giving Blade Runner a vote though, because that was
Yeah.
that
No,
was
Blade Runner is
yeah.
if they were on right now, and like on this on at the same time, I would watch Blade Runner probably over Aliens.
I would probably watch Aliens over Blade Runner.
For that scene, it's just a ride. You get on the
Yeah.
ride and you go.
Yep.
And I think though that because of all the other contributing elements, Aliens has to
Yes,
get the.
Kara is absolutely right. 40K owes both of these movies, so I want to make sure that everybody in here understands that. You all owe Aliens and Blade Runner a thanks for existing. Okay, next one. Oh God, Matrix versus Galaxy Quest.
Oh man, I know I'm gonna catch some grief for this one. Oh, I need that tight black leather. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, I think it's the Matrix for me too. I'm not happy about it because I love Galaxy Quest.
I do too. It's just so good. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And it holds up. Like you could watch it today. That's one of those things
Oh
that
yeah.
you would watch. If it was on, you'd watch it.
I
and have
to be
no
honest,
regrets.
if both of them were on at the same time, I would probably watch Galaxy Quest.
I mean, does that change your like? I could hold down the vote for Matrix, and you and Chat could go Galaxy Quest,
Chat's going both right now. Okay.
and that would not hurt my feelings. I mean, as far as like a solid story, Galaxy Quest has the more solid story.
Galaxy
You don't have
Quest,
to, like as silly as it sounds, you don't have to suspend disbelief almost about anything.
it's true. Matrix was very, very big for me when I watched it, though.
That's great. It's getting my vote. I'm just trying to convince you to vote certain ways.
Still looks. Come on, more chat. We need more chat because it's too close right now. It's too close. I absolutely refuse to let Galaxy Quest get 0 votes. So
yeah. Well, it's what would Adam pick?
ooh, what would Adam pick? He'd probably pick Galaxy Quest, wouldn't he? Because he always hypes that movie up. Fair,
It's a great movie.
Fair. Matrix, Galaxy Quest. Oh, man,
This is
so
close.
I would still go Matrix, though. I would. So but Galaxy Quest is absolutely getting a vote. Like that's 2-1.
Matrix is taking it.
Matrix is taking it. Oh.
Torrance says they enjoy neither. Well, those are great movies.
Okay. Fifth Element versus Akira.
Matrix broke ground. That is
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Fifth Element versus Akira. This is also very unfair.
Yeah.
Because I do love both these movies.
Yeah.
But Akira has an incredible special place in my heart.
Was it the first anime you ever watched, Paul? I feel like that's
it's
the first anime a lot of people watched.
It's not. So I'll tell you briefly the story. Is that one? I mean, I read the comic, or at least part of the comic, and then I got into anime by like video stores, like going and renting videos and watching, different anime things. But there was mostly like the super robot type cartoons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was 14 or 15, I saw that Akira was coming in the theater in a big paper magazine like they would give out. It was like, oh, it's coming. Let me go. And my uncle took me down to see it. And I had no idea whether it was going to be in Japanese or English or whatever. I didn't care. I just wanted to see it on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see it on the big screen. And none of my friends wanted to go with me. And then two or 3 years later, they were like, yo, have you heard of this Akira thing? I'm like, oh, remember a couple years ago. But I still love the story, and it's the animation was ahead of its time then, probably still amazing now. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing, and it paints
even the first 15 minutes, like that motorcycle, the gang fight is just awesome. So good.
And that scene where he skids on the motorcycle has been replicated and homaged 1,000 million times.
Yep.
Like I've already forgotten the other movie we're talking about.
So I guess it's Akira for you. I am definitely saying Fifth Element. It hurts my soul a little bit, but because I love Akira, and it does hold a special place in my heart too. But Fifth Element is, if it beat Terminator 2, it has to beat Akira. That's
Oh, so it's down to the chat.
and Chad,
What would Adam do?
Chad is going almost all fifth. In fact, I haven't seen a single Akira vote yet. It's all Fifth Element. Oh,
Like I can get behind that. I mean, there's some cool things in Fifth Element. Like
all right.
that's another one where a lot of those characters are simply iconic, and
Yep.
and how do you that has its weight, like where it enters your mind and it becomes part of like your routine. Some
Yeah,
character like
absolutely.
that's
All right. And the last of round 2 is the age-old debate: Star Trek versus Star Wars. Technically, Wrath of Khan versus Empire Strikes Back.
see you later, Khan.
See you later, Khan. Gone. Is Star Trek getting a vote, chat? Let's see. Is it Empire or is it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. 3-0 for Empire. Okay. Semifinals. Aliens versus the Matrix. This isn't
It's got to
close.
be Aliens.
This
It's
isn't
got to be
close.
Aliens, right?
It has to be Aliens. There's
Yeah.
no way. There's no world. Is Matrix getting a vote, chat? Aliens. No, they are not. No, it's not. I didn't think so. Okay.
Easy is what
Easy. That's what I'm
one
talking about.
commenter has referred to it as.
All right. And then Fifth Element versus Empire.
It's Empire.
Still Empire.
Empire is still a better love story than Fifth Element.
Predator is in action, which is next week, Erwin. Don't worry, we did not forget Predator. Predator's next week. It's in there. I made sure of that. Fifth Empire. Oh no. Okay, Empire's starting to pull ahead again.
I mean,
it's
often misquoted.
It's true. It's probably still a 3-0, I think, because I'm Empire as well.
Han Solo, if you weren't convinced before, when that door opens and Darth Vader's sitting there, what is the first thing he does? He pushes Leia behind and pulls out his heavy blaster pistol, and just starts wailing, just starts going.
I actually never noticed that he pushed her behind him. I never noticed that.
Yeah, he becomes a hero instantly.
Huh.
If you weren't convinced before, that's his instinct to start.
I gotta watch it
going
again
to work
and pay attention to that. I never noticed that. That's cool. I have more respect for Han Solo.
That's
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the finals, the championship: Aliens versus Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, now this is where we have to have a serious conversation.
Yes, we do,
because we're talking about probably the total movie here. What is the better movie, right? Not as just what is the thing that maybe you've committed a large chunk of your life to, and
yep.
And most of the walls down here may or may not have Star Wars stuff on it.
Most of the walls here may or may not have alien stuff on them. Just say it.
Oh, but I mean, this is a little tough, but I still got to go Empire. Empire, but also because of Star Wars, not just on the weight of Empire itself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because you do need some context for that movie, so I think it's relevant and fair to bring it in.
Yeah. Do you have a couple votes for Aliens? Empire seems to be getting most of the votes.
But KR says that Aliens is more sci-fi and Empire is a space opera. I do agree that you can classify Star Wars as a space opera, but they do have laser swords, they fly in spaceships, they have aliens, they have mystical powers that cannot be explained. They deal with gravity impacting the speed of a starship. Talking about the Kessel Run, and was it 12.4 parsecs?
See, it's actually funny. Joel's
That's
saying
hard
too,
science.
the longer the series went on, they both got worse. This is actually the second movie in both the series. That's actually hilarious that those were the best ones in both series. Like, let's be real. That's hilarious.
So I'm now, since there is science in Star Wars, it's sci-fi. It's the best sci-fi movie.
That was a pretty convincing argument. I still have to say Aliens.
I actually disconnected there for a second, so if someone disagreed with me, I didn't hear it.
Yep, I said you're wrong about everything, but
Oh.
I have to say Aliens.
Oh my goodness!
Chat has spoken, and it's Empire. Empire 2-1.
Nice. Woo! My faith has been restored in our wonderful chat community.
That's right.
It was a tense. That was a tense. That was a hanging. That was a very thick couple of seconds.
That was a thick couple of seconds. That was thick. But yeah, no, Empire does take it. They win the sci-fi genre, and they'll be moving on.
This is tough.
I told you, this one was tough. Next week is action, man. I don't think it's going to be much easier, to be honest, but this one was tough.
Oh, well, thank y'all so much for joining us this week on the live show. Thank y'all so much for listening after the fact. If you if you made it this far, please leave us those 5-star reviews. Leave some comments down below. Let us know inevitably where you think we got it wrong, or if we got it all the way right. If we had your bracket and didn't get busted the entire way, you let us know in the comments, please. That means a lot to us. Those types of interactions kind of let the algorithms know that other people should be coming and interacting with us and hanging out with y'all in the various communities as well. Best of luck to everyone playing in the events this weekend, especially to Adam out there holding it down, playing Grey Knights. We miss him very much, but he'll be back next week, and we'll see y'all soon, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.